Agree.
Look at us today. Short sleeves,
Sleeves.
both of us. There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. One thing about spring weather, it's changeable.
That it is. The Gardener's Corner program today is brought to you by T.G. Brooks Company, Sandling Golf Cars, and Our Pride Foods. My name is Rob Hall, and our special guest today is Paul Westfall, the Director of Person and Granville County's Cooperative Extension Service offices. And we're glad to have you tuned in and hope everybody is doing really good. And I guess with the it being down in the 30s yesterday, it's supposed to be in the 30s over the weekend.
Yeah.
I guess this is driving home the reminder it's a little bit too early to start planting things out in the garden.
Especially tender things like tomatoes and all that. If you have planted those already, if you haven't covered them up already this week, you're going to need to cover them up tonight, Saturday night, and probably Sunday night too, because
Yeah.
it's supposed to get down just below freezing. Now, some of our plants can stand that and come back okay, but some of our very tender seedling or transplants, such as a tomato, it's pretty risky to get them out there. So if you're still have them in a pot and just sitting them outside trying to harden them off, might want to bring them back in for those overnight on those days that it's supposed to get kind of cold on us, Rob. So that's the best advice I can get. And as far as the strawberries that you can't pull in or anything like that, I know they're trying to bloom. I've actually heard of some fruit being set already on some of them. If I know the commercial guys are probably already got their plans made to get cover on before it gets cold on these next couple nights. But for the home gardeners that have a few strawberry plants, be a good idea to cover them up overnight the next few nights. So and then pull it off and let the sunshine work on them once it gets up above freezing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And do not use plastic. Plastic is fine if you have some way to keep it from touching the
Right.
vegetation.
Elevate it.
That's fine, but if you've got some maybe old bed linens or interfacing or something like that,
Yeah, something that's cloth, not
that's
plastic,
right.
that would actually touch the plant.
and anything that would protect it a few degrees may be the difference of it living and dying. But
That's true.
the cool season vegetable plants, they'll be fine. But just like Paul mentioned, the tomatoes, and if you have strawberries, you may want to start thinking right now and come up with a plan of action to
That's a
attack.
good idea. Yeah, be prepared.
Yeah. Hey, I want to make mention coming up on the 23rd, there will be a malt barley tour in Granville County. So anybody that's interested in growing malt barley, you can contact either the Person County or Granville County Extension offices, 336-599-1195 or 919-603-1350, and get your name on it. And that's something that is getting a little bit bigger each and every year. And they like to have an idea of how many people to prepare for.
That's right. Mainly because we're giving lunch.
That's right, yes.
So we need to know how
Make sure it's plenty.
how many lunches to have available. So if you don't get your name in the pot, you might not
Maybe
get a lunch.
lunchless.
Yeah, you might have to go somewhere else for lunch. So
Hey, one other thing I'd like to make mention of, the building materials auction that was to be held tomorrow, April 7th at Talbot Building Supply, has been postponed, and it has been rescheduled for April 21st. That'll be Saturday, April 21st. But we'll keep you reminded of that. But we just heard from the officials at Talbot Building Supply earlier this morning, and they said they have postponed the auction because of the weather. And again, it's been rescheduled for Saturday, April the 21st. Paul, moving along, it's I've noticed a lot of fertilizer trucks on the road. And we actually got our fertilizer put on yesterday afternoon, and I did ask one of the guys. I said, "Are y'all even close to getting caught up? You know, spreading
Oh.
fertilizer?" And he said, "No."
No, they're not.
And he said, "We most likely won't get caught up until people just say, well, it's too late."
Yeah. Hmm.
And so, anyway, we typically get ours on earlier in the year, and no more than we have. It doesn't take very long to spread it, but we did have a minor setback, and the fertilizer truck got stuck. And it probably took longer to get the fertilizer truck
Out.
unstuck
Yep.
than it actually took to spread the fertilizer.
Right.
But
And that's, trying to deal with Mother Nature.
That's
And
right.
she's been very generous with rainfall this spring, since January and February on. Whereas she was kind of stingy with it last summer and last fall, but she's blessing us a lot with rainfall this spring. And that's putting our farm operations, putting our fertilizer applications, put a lot of things on a delayed basis here. But you got to deal with it. One of the reasons why the fertilizer applications are stacking up and running so far behind is just because they just can't get out on the fields without getting stuck. I mean,
Yeah.
they're taking a risk right now every time. I know they got the big flotation tires on their trucks and everything, but they'll stick to every now and
They sure
then.
will. So, don't get upset with the company because they're working fast as they can, and they work on a first come, first served basis.
That's right.
I also want to make mention that tonight is the annual Cattlemen's Association steak dinner at the Person County Office Building. Eat in or take out available. It'll be a ribeye steak with a baked potato, a salad, dessert, and drink. And again, eat in or take out at the auditorium at the county office building. They'll even have the convenient drive-through line set up. And so if you want to get your weekend started off nice with a steak dinner, be sure to head on by. And if you know a member of the Cattlemen's Association, it'd be a good idea to call them and get you a couple of tickets reserved, or you could call the Cooperative Extension Service and maybe they could put you in touch with someone at 336-599-1195. Again, they'll start serving this afternoon at 5 o'clock, Friday afternoon, this evening at 5. And one other thing, maybe pick up one of those chances to win the chainsaw and accessory package, and proceeds to benefit 4-H. And speaking of 4-H, next week is going to be the Junior Livestock Show,
Yes,
correct?
it will. The Central Piedmont Livestock Show. It's several counties involved with that. It'll be in Orange County at the dairy facility there,
At the Central Carolina
Yep.
Holstein Barn.
Holstein Barn, and a lot
Up
of
on
folks.
Orange Grove Road.
Orange Grove Road. A lot of folks know where that is, and when you go down next week, when you go down Orange Grove Road there, just south of Hillsboro, you're going to see a deputy's car sitting on the side of the road with his lights flashing, just warning people that this is a high traffic area. Slow down a little bit. Be careful. We don't want to have any mishaps on the road of people going in and out of the livestock show. But if people want some entertainment on those days and would like to come out and watch the show, they're certainly welcome to do so. We've got several young people showing here from Person County. We're very glad to do that. And last year we did have the grand champion steer and several other champions in that show, and that's a pretty difficult thing to do, is get your top placing in one of the breeds there.
And that'll be on Wednesday and Thursday. Is that right, Paul?
Correct. The show is a 2-day show. Get the show schedule. I don't have that with me to talk about, Rob,
Right.
but you can call the office there at 336-599-1195 and get the show schedule. If there's a particular species you want to come and watch show, or if they're, I know grandparents and aunts and uncles and all like to come and support their relatives, their nephews and nieces that are actually showing in the show. And it's good entertainment. It's fun. The kids, young people have worked hard with their project animals. It takes a lot of work to get one ready to show in a show like this, Rob. And that's not just the making them pretty part.
That's right.
That's the training them to show. because it's not easy to take a 1,200-pound steer and get him to where he can just hold on to a halter rope and lead them around the show ring, get them to stop when you want to, get their feet to set up like you want them to, and then get them to go again when you want them to. It takes a lot of work from the time when you get them at 400 or 500 pounds and get them on up to that weight that they'll be showing at.
And if you think it's something hard to teach a steer to show, try showing a pen of 3 of hogs, and but it's a lot of fun to see these animals, and one thing that I like to see is when they are showing the pigs, the show ring has a lot of shavings. And when they bring the pigs in, they're kind of sometimes excited to run around.
Oh, they love having that open space. Sometimes they'll hit that ring and just go oof, 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 and take off across the ring and kind of get a little energy worked out. And then of course the young person said, "Oh no," and they have to go across the ring and get their pig back under control. But and you're right. To me, that's the best entertainment at the show is watching the hog shows because of you can tell exactly which young people have worked with that pig to train it and which ones are just following the pig around the ring.
And as clean as they have these animals, it's really neat to see. But I promise you, if you go to this event, your cheekbones will be sore a few days after from smiling so much, because it's a really laid back, serious event, and the spectators, if you enjoy hogs, cows, sheep, and goats, you'll really enjoy it, and it's
Absolutely.
Free admission too.
Free admission, and it's a tribute to the young people. The time that they've taken to do this, they're learning a lot of responsibility because they're supposed to be responsible for taking care of their show animals from the day that they get them. That includes feeding them, watering them, grooming them, training them, making sure that any veterinary needs are met, keeping records on them, how much is it costing to do all this. So there's a little business management that's taught to these kids also, but mainly it's just the responsibility and the ability to make decisions, in caring for their animals and getting them to this point. And I got to say, all the FFA members and all the 4-H members that participate do a great job with all those things.
And it is a show and sale that they will have the show, and then at the conclusion of the show on Thursday they will have the auction, and a lot of the animals there will be sold, but some of them sometimes opt to not sell their show animal. But what they use this money for is to recoup the expenses of getting that animal to the auction, and then a lot of times the money is used for other things. Some could use it for maybe purchasing a vehicle, or maybe using it for scholarship funds. But it's a lot of wonderful sponsors that support this annual show and sale. And if you have the opportunity, you should go at least one time.
Oh yeah, it's worth the trip. It's like we said, it's worth the trip to go to the state fair and watch some of these livestock shows too. But this starts out early in the year. It's in April. It's fresh season, and I know our young people are excited about participating in that.
And the Central Carolina Holstein Barn again is on Orange Grove Road, up in Orange County, and Orange Grove Road, to me, it's just a beautiful drive out of Hillsborough out to the Holstein Barn. Just the way the road winds and up little hills and down, and it's just beautiful. And then back behind the Holstein Barn, the Kirk family, they strip crop the farmlands behind it, and it seems like just the way everything is set up, it's just as pretty as a picture.
It's beautiful, and they do a really good job of conservation farming, if you will. You mentioned strip strips
Yeah.
of different crops. And they also do contour farming to conform with the lay of the land around the hillsides and all. But yeah, it makes a pretty picturesque scenery there to see once you go, if you stop to watch the show, and just take a step outside the barn and just look around and see all this. And you're right, it is beautiful.
And it is a pretty good travel out the Orange Grove Road, but the volunteer fire department is located right there beside of the Central Carolina
Yep.
Holstein barn. And as Paul said, it will be most likely a deputy car there on the side of the road with these lights flashing to try to help, folks coming in and out of the Holstein barn. And it's always nice after going up there to the show and sale I'm going to throw in a free plug
Oh, boy.
for Mapleview Ice Cream to go over and have some Mapleview ice cream. It's not so far from there, but if you have the opportunity, by all means go. And I believe you'll leave feeling good with a smile on your face, and you'll say, I enjoyed that and would like to come back again.
Absolutely.
Paul, but again, coming up on Monday the 23rd, it's this malt barley tour in Oxford. And you all worked really hard to make this tour a success. And again, if you would be interested in finding out more information about maybe growing malt barley, this would be the perfect opportunity for you. And with all of the micro and craft breweries that are popping up from different places and all around, you never know what the demand may be. And it may not be the crop that you could make a living off of, but it would add some diversity to your farm operation.
And a lot of our farms are set up to grow small grains already, Rob. So this isn't a big drastic change from one crop to another. Where it takes a whole entirely different set of equipment or anything. You can use the same equipment, same tillage equipment, same tractors, same planters, drills, whatever. And actually, you probably can use the same harvest equipment too. It's just harvested a little bit differently and treated differently because it needs to be food grade. That's the biggest difference right there. Just have to take a little more care and make sure it is food grade when you harvest it, because it's going into a food product. It's going into a beverage, which maybe not everybody wants or likes it. But you mentioned it is a kind of a niche crop. A lot of these micro brewers and craft brewers do like to locally source as many ingredients in their product as possible. So there could be a good market for some folks if they're able to contact some of these craft brewers or contact the malter down in Durham that actually takes the seeds and malts them before they go into the brewing process. So,
and you all are going to have someone there that is actually a malter to be talking and giving information.
Yeah.
Well, look, let's get a word on for Our Pride Foods. If you are someone that enjoys pimento cheese, you owe it to yourself to give Our Pride Foods premium pimento cheese spread and dip a try. If you like something that's got a little bit of a spicy kick to it, try the jalapeno added.
There you go.
Here's more information.
Goodness grows in North Carolina. Our Pride Premium Pimento Cheese Spread and Dip is made in Roxborough. You can pick up some to enjoy at T.G. Brooks Company, Twins Market, Hurdle Mills Market and Butcher Shop, North Main IGA, Food Lion, Supply Line Discounts in South Boston, Virginia, Kenyon's Meat Market in Mebane, and Bacon's Meat Market in Hillsborough. Or you can enjoy it at Cole's Pharmacy, Trish's Espresso, and the Clarksville Station. Whether you're having Our Pride Premium Pimento Cheese Spread and Dip for a snack or a meal, it's delicious. Our Pride Premium Pimento Cheese Spread and Dip is made by Our Pride Foods in Roxborough. Pick up some and enjoy it today. For extra flavor, try the jalapeno added. That's Our Pride premium pimento cheese spread and dip.
Here we are back on the Gardener's Corner program. Our special guest today is Paul Westfall. Paul is the director for the Person in Granville County Cooperative Extension Service offices. My name is Rob Hall. We just heard a word from Our Pride Foods, makers of Our Pride Premium Pimento Cheese Spread and Dip. Matter of fact, I had some yesterday myself and really enjoyed it. In a few minutes, we'll tell you about T.G. Brooks Company and Sandling Golf Cars. Speaking of T.G. Brooks Company, we're planning to take the show on the road 2 weeks from today on April the 20th at T.G. Brooks Company. And so we'd love for you to stop by and say hello. Maybe it will be a beautiful day, and maybe we can be set up out front in the store. And I know it's been several times we've been at T.G. Brooks's, and it would be hot, and it's been one time I recall it was snowing.
Yeah, I do remember that, Rob. It wasn't that long ago. But hopefully April 20th, everything will be wonderful. The temperatures will be just perfect, and we'll know it will be a great day to be out at T.G. Brooks Company.
It will. And, Paul was, talking a little bit earlier about, maybe if you've got strawberries and tomatoes out, typically in the Piedmont, you have a good chance of frost up until April 15th. And then after April 15th, the chances of frost decrease pretty quickly. But now just bear in mind, April 15th, tax deadline day, is 1 week from this upcoming Monday. So
Approaches fast, doesn't it?
It really does. It sure does. Paul, you were telling me you've got some information that you would like to share with our listeners and
Yes,
viewers.
I do. Person Industries, Miss Amanda Everett over there at Person Industries has organized an event called the Household Waste Collection Day. This is going to be held in the parking lot of the social services with the old Walmart building.
Yes, sir.
They're going to be holding the event in that parking lot. They're going to be collecting a lot of different things. The one that I want to particularly get out about is that the folks from the pesticide disposal program will be there to collect household pesticides, garden pesticides, also from farmers. If you
Good.
have an old pesticide container that you've had around for a long time and don't anticipate going to need it anymore, or what we've run into, Rob, a lot is we've had people contact us and say they've been cleaning out, the granddaddy's old barn and open the door and there's a bunch of old pesticides, herbicides or insecticides sitting there, and they don't need them, don't know what to do with them. So an event such as this, where the folks from the Pesticide Disposal Assistance Program are going to be present, is a good place to bring those and dispose of them properly, because they're collected by a certified, handler of these products. They are, safely packaged and transported to a place where they're actually incinerated, I believe is what they do. But there's no charge for people to do this. If you contact Person Industries and talk to Ms. Everett, I'm sure she'd be happy to tell you what all the other things, they're probably doing things like scrap metals. I don't know if they're doing paper shredding or not, but that's usually one of the things they do at one of these events. But a lot of different ways to get rid of some things that tend to accumulate in the garage or in the outbuilding somewhere. Create some space and get rid of some of those things that you don't need that would be considered household hazardous waste. But in particular, I'm interested in making sure that our pesticides are disposed of properly, that we aren't going to use. A lot of people have a piece of a jug of glyphosate or Roundup that has been around for a long time. I don't think they're going to use it, so why keep it? Come on down to the Household Hazardous Waste Disposal Day. Look up Mr. Derek Bell or one of his colleagues that'll be collecting the pesticides. This is going to be I need to get the date out, don't I?
That would help.
Talking about all this, I didn't get the date out there yet, but it's going to be Saturday, April 21st. It's a busy day, Rob. You've already talked about something else going on that day. Saturday, April 21st. It's going to start at 9 in the morning and go until noon. So you got 3 hours to get down there and bring your household hazardous waste items. Again, the address of that parking lot in front of the DSS and Health Department, that's 355 South Madison Boulevard. So it's easy to get to. It's right there on Madison Boulevard.
Kind of across from Alton's Tire Service.
Yeah, and so
Right there, close by La Casina. So
Folks
we done
wanna-
laid it out on the map for sure.
laid it out on the map right there by La Casina. We got the little shopping area right in there, and then the nursery right across the street there too, isn't it?
It is kind of diagonal across
Diagonal across Rolling
Yeah,
Hills Nursery.
yeah.
So if you can't find it from all these landmarks, give us a call. We'll help give you some more specific directions.
And I think that it's a really neat idea. I know that Heiko Warehouse typically is the host of the pesticide.
Yeah, that's through our.
day. But anyway, I think it's really nice that they're doing this. Now, again, we do not have a list of all the acceptable items and materials, but I promise you that they will not be accepting any and everything. So you may want to call Amanda Everett at 336-599-7571, and she could maybe you've got a particular type of household waste. I don't know if they will be accepting cooking oils and things like that. Possibly so, but do yourself a favor, call ahead and make sure that they will be accepting whatever it is
That you need to
want to
dispose
get rid
of, right.
instead of you loading it up and going up there and they turn you down.
Right. So, and then, I will send over, Rob, I do have a flyer that they've sent out.
Okay.
I didn't have it printed off. I did it on our website. I've got it on a little message board in there in the Person County office building. But I'll send you a copy of
That'd be
that
good, and
flyer
we'll-
too. So in subsequent
we're glad
programs
to
and
get that
other
in-
things,
yeah.
you can get that advertised a little bit more.
And speaking of that, Roxborough Savings Bank coming up the first Saturday in May will have their annual shred day. It will be held rain or shine. Now this annual shred day is not open to businesses. It's only open to individuals. You may have some documents that you would like to have shredded by a professional company to where your personal information could not be used against you. But from my understanding, if it rains, they're going to be under the drive-through canopy at Roxborough Savings Bank. Again, this will be the first Saturday in May. And you pretty much stand there and you watch them shred your paper that you want to dispose of, and then that way you don't have to worry about anybody using your information to cause
Right.
you harm.
It's-
And that identity theft is something
Oh, it's a big
that
thing.
is really big. It
Yeah,
sure
but
is.
you can watch them. It'll put it in one of their bins. They have a truck that does all this.
Yes.
Pull it up, dump it in there. The thing will go crazy, and you'll hear a lot of noise. And all that's left just about is just little shreds of paper and a lot of dust.
Well, what I'm chuckling at, we have a small paper shredder at home that sits on top of a little garbage can,
Right.
and it won't shred but maybe 2 pages at the time. But if you overload it, it will let you know that it's not going to happen today. Yeah, it'll come to a screeching halt.
Yes.
But again, for Saturday, the 21st, right there at the social services offices on Madison Boulevard. What's the physical address again, Paul?
It's going to be at the HHW event's going to be at 355 South Madison Boulevard.
And it will be
Here in
from
Roxborough.
9 a.m. until 12 noon.
Yep.
And again, if you contact Miss Amanda Everett 336-599-7571, and she can tell you what items will be accepted, and maybe even more so important, the items that will not be accepted. And I know that when they have hosted the pesticide waste day at Hyco Warehouse, they have made it plainly no paints allowed.
Yeah, on those days at Hyco, that is pesticides only.
Yeah.
This household hazardous waste does have other items,
and
and
they may accept old paint, but I'm not
it
sure.
depends. That's an expensive proposition, so
Yeah.
I didn't bring that list of things with me, but I will get that to
Yes,
you, Rob,
yes,
for
please
use here at
do,
the station.
and we'll get it out on the local news and try to make mention of it on the program. We've got a couple of more weeks on the Gardener's Corner program before that comes up. Let's get a word on right now for Sandaline Golf Cars. They are geared up and ready to go for springtime. They have extended their hours until 5:30 weekdays, and they're open 9 until 1 on Saturday. So if you need parts and services, Trojan batteries, or maybe you're thinking it's time to go ahead and purchase a golf car, go down to where you can shop a huge selection. That's Sandaline Golf Cars, 613 Lewis Street in Oxford.
We love April. Spring is bursting open. T.G. Brooks Company is ready, and they have them in. They have tomato plants, cabbage, broccoli, collards, and also herbs like basil, chives, thyme, oregano, dill, cilantro, and peppermint. They have lavender. They're geared up for the planting season. April is the month to get these things going for spring and summer. Fresh garden seed are in and ready to plant. Reseed your lawn with clean, fresh seed, and they have the fertilizer, lime, herbicides for weed control, and if you need mulch, wow, do they ever have mulch, even the triple ground mulch. Do you need straw, pine needles? How about potting soil or planting soil or cow manure? They have spreaders and they have aerators for sale or for rent. No matter if you are a homeowner or if you are a commercial landscaper, T.G. Brooks Company handles everybody with the same courteous service. They can arrange delivery, or you can pull in with your pickup truck, your trailer, and they'll load up your mulch for you. The bagged products like pine mulch, they'll load those up in your car or trailer. It's exciting to see spring and the growing season. When the day is done, nothing tops off like a hand-cut ribeye steak cooked to your liking on your grill. Make tracks to 411 Helena Meyer Road in Timberlake. As always, T.G. Brooks Company reminds you they have proudly served the homeowner, the farmer, and those in construction since way back in 1936. They welcome folks from all over Person County, Rougemont and northern Durham, and of course southern Person County.
Well, as you folks figured out about the time that we did, that was an ad for T.G. Brooks Company
It
and
was.
not Sandaline Golf Cars. But we'll get a word on for Sandaline Golf Cars coming up in a few minutes. But T.G. Brooks Company, no matter the time of the year, they're ready for you. Plumbing supplies, beautiful bedding plants. The list just goes on, and again, we'll be there. Good Lord willing, in a couple of weeks doing the show live from there, and you never know what kind of treats and who may show up just to say hello.
That's right. You never know. People do stop by and say hello while we're on the air there, and of course, you know, Bill and Roy usually have some special items out on display that sometimes they make your mouth drool a little bit looking at it, like that hoop cheese that they have out
Yes, sir.
sometimes, and of course they always talk about those hand-cut ribeyes. And
Paul, we'll make mention again of this Person County Cattlemen's Association raffle. All proceeds from the raffle will be donated to the Person County 4-H program for the annual Central Piedmont Junior Livestock Show and Sale. Again, that sale and show will be next Wednesday and Thursday in Hillsboro. And I guarantee if someone attends the state dinner tonight at the county office building, they could probably purchase a ticket.
Probably
and,
so.
The grand prize award is a Poland Pro chainsaw with accessories, and it was graciously donated by Tractor Supply Company of Roxborough.
That's
So-
right, and we certainly appreciate all the support that they give to the Cattlemen's Association and, of course, to our 4-H program.
And in a few weeks, we'll be sharing some information with you about a fundraiser that the Granville County Cattlemen's Association will have going on.
Yeah,
But,
that's coming up on the 20th.
Yeah, it'll be here real fast.
2 weeks.
It sure will.
2 weeks.
But anyway, Paul, a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Here it is, pretty much the first part of April.
Mm-hmm.
As far as cattle is being situated and things, again, is it a good idea for people to put out the high magnesium minerals?
It is, and in fact, I think it's a good idea to just use that year round, but especially in the springtime. You know, we keep talking about the grass is going to grow real fast here pretty soon, and I think it's just starting to get kicked off good because of the really cold nighttime temperatures that we've had up until the last few days, really.
Right.
But the fescue and orchard grass and things that grow really well in the springtime, that's when the bulk of their growth is. You know, there's a lot of moisture, a lot of water in those plants. They're growing so fast, so that means that there's going to be a deficiency of magnesium in the cow's diet if all she's eating is that grass. So supplying a mineral that has high magnesium in it will help alleviate or help keep them from having this grass tetany problem that we have. They'll get the staggers and do some kind of strange looking things, and just not good for them. They'll stop eating and all
And
sorts of fun things.
What was that you had said several weeks ago? They call it what kind of stagger? The grass.
Grass staggers, yeah,
something
or
like
something
that.
like that. I don't remember the exact term we used back then, but yeah, the grass tetany, they'll get some, the blind staggers or start drooling. Just won't do real good. I don't think, in extreme cases you might lose the cow, but it's so easy to prevent. Just get a good mineral with high magnesium content out there. They'll regulate themselves as to how much they need. They'll go and eat the mineral. They're pretty good about that, cows are. And it doesn't take very much per day. So it's a little investment in some mineral is a whole lot better than trying to, figure out what's wrong with your cows, have a vet come out, and, vet calls aren't cheap, as you know, Rob.
That's right.
So this is literally ounces of prevention will prevent hundreds of pounds of cure, let's put it that way, because cows don't weigh, they weigh quite a lot,
Yeah.
a few hundred pounds. So we'll just phrase it like that and go on. Just a little high magnesium mineral prevents a whole lot of problems.
Paul, the Extension Service sent out a little newsletter within the last few weeks or so, and I think Miss Kim Woods, the livestock agent here for Person County, contributed quite a bit to it, and I read a little bit of it, but they was talking about grazing and
Right.
different things, and they were saying that, I believe, is it pearl millet? Is that? I'm not pronouncing it right.
No, you're pronouncing that exactly right. And pearl millet is something that probably should be planted pretty soon. It's an annual grass. It grows during the hot months. It's a summer annual, we call it. But it probably needs to get off to a good start. So planting it in late April, early May is ideal. If you wait until June, it's pretty risky. I've tried planting some plots in June of using pearl millet, and we didn't get any rainfall on it, and it did not come up. So plant it when you've got some moisture available.
And did I understand correctly that that is good grazing for horses?
Yes, it is. It's good grazing for horses.
Yeah.
They'll love it, and it produces a lot of tonnage. It makes good hay, and I don't know. It's a really good summer annual to use for a lot of different purposes.
Yeah. And something else I'll make mention of. I had a friend was telling me that he had noticed a couple of his horses in the inside of their mouth was really red and irritated, and he said that he had done a little bit of research on the internet, and it said something about foxtail grass. And I said, well, I said, I've heard something about it. I said, but I can't really remember. My memory is not quite as good as it used to be, but I did talk with a veterinarian, and they were saying that a lot of times foxtail grasses can cause irritation to the inside of a horse's mouth.
That's right.
And he says that it is some treatments that you can do with cortisone, and sometimes you have to clean the teeth out and things. He said if you have a horse that is suffering from this, if possible, change the hay that you're feeding. And he said it's typically something that will work itself out. But he also was saying that you may have 4 or 5 horses eating off of the same Rambella hay, and it may only affect one of them or something.
Right. Yeah.
So it's just one of those things that look, it's amazing. Horses and cattle are in a sense like people. Some may do a little bit better off of one thing
That's
than
right.
others do.
Well, there's a lot of diversity even among the species, but yeah, foxtail for horses or cattle or anything that's grazing or eating hay. If it's mature foxtail, you've seen it, those nice little fuzzy caterpillar-looking seed heads they've got on them. They've also, at the end of that, each one of those little seeds on that seed head have what they call an awn. It's just a little spike on the end of the seed, I guess, but is one way to describe it. Some varieties of foxtail are worse than others about that. But if you cut it for hay and the plant dries down and matures, those little seed heads or the awns on those seeds are really stiff and they're sharp, and sometimes they will, as the horses or cow is chewing it, sometimes those things, if they come in at the right angle, they will penetrate like the lining of the cheek, or they can penetrate the gums or the tongue or anything, and they stick there, and then they cause those abscesses like you're talking about. So we try to keep as much foxtail out of our hay and out of our pastures as we can, but it's really tough because we have to use management to do it, because we really don't have any good herbicides that will get rid of a grass and leave the grasses that we want.
Get rid of the bad and leave the good. It's
You're
not
right.
really there.
So we're having to do it through management. Make sure that gets back into the hole. Make sure your fertility is right. Make sure you've got an adequate number of plants out there of the fescue orchard grass that you want to keep, and excuse me. Then just cover up those bare spots that allow weeds to come out.
And if you have Johnson grass in some of your fields, Johnson grass is really hard to get rid of, but one of the best ways to get rid of Johnson grass is grazing it.
That's right.
Because if you graze it, whether it's horses or cattle, they love it, and they will keep it eat down to where eventually it won't come back anymore.
Johnson grass is tough to get rid of. It reproduces through seed and through rhizomes, so you got it coming out on top of the plant, and you got those little rhizomes that spread out, and then the plants will come up from the roots, so to speak.
So again, if you're infested with Johnson grass, if you can put a fence around it and let cattle or horses graze it, they'll take care of the problem for you. They will. Hey, we need to squeeze a word on for Sandling Golf Cars. We got started a little bit late due to a few circumstances beyond our control. But anyway, let's get a word on for Sandling Golf Cars, and we'll be back to wrap up the Gardeners Corner program.
Sandling Golf Cars is open for business Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. until 5:30, Saturdays, 9 until 1. Visit Al, Hillary, and Will at Sandling Golf Cars for all of your golf car needs. Whether it's a club car, E-Z-GO, or Yamaha golf cars that you are wanting, they carry the full line, new and pre-owned units available. Sandling Golf Cars also has the full line of Wilmington Grill products. Are you in need of a trailer? You'll find tow dollies all the way up to 24-foot enclosed trailers at Sandling Golf Cars. See Bradley and Dennis for your Trojan batteries and repairs on your golf cars. Call 919-693-4626 or toll free 1-800-221-9267. Sandling Golf Cars located 613 Lewis Street in Oxford.
Alrighty, here we are back on the Gardeners Corner program. Man, time has went by fast.
It has.
Paul, we've got less than 2 minutes. Any closing remarks?
If you got any household hazardous waste that will be accepted at the HHW program on the 21st, bring that out between 9 and 12, 355 Madison Boulevard.
Also, if you'd like some information on the Central Piedmont Junior Livestock Show and Sale, that's going to be next Wednesday and Thursday at the Central Carolina Holstein Barn in Orange County up on Orange Grove Road. Call 336-599-1195. Go, you'll have a good time, and you will really enjoy seeing those children with their projects. It'll put a smile on your face. And one more time, we'll make mention tonight, the annual Person County Cattlemen's Association steak dinner at the Cooperative Extension Service Auditorium right there at the county office building. $15. Get a ribeye steak, a baked potato, a tossed salad, dessert, and drink, and it's a good meal. Paul, thank you for coming out, sharing some information with us today.
Always a pleasure, Rob. Thank you.
A big thank you again to Paul Westfall, the director of the Person County and Granville County's Cooperative Extension Service. Thanks goes out to our sponsors, T.G. Brooks Company, Owl Pride Foods, and Sandling Golf Cars. On behalf of the staff and management here at the radio station, my name is Rob Hall, and wish you all the best in the future.